There is National does have a program where we get $250 in co-op money towards startup for websites, and there's some other things involved in that, but that is an option that you can take advantage of. Trusted Choice does have that, and that's a nice extra benefit for our members. So, Doug, with Applied, a lot of agencies don't have an agency management system or are researching management systems. What should an agent take into consideration when they're looking for something? For the tools and what would fit their agency?
Okay. Before I answer that question, how many people in the room are not on a management system or not automated? Okay, so not that many. All right, then. So the rest of you, how many have applied? A few. Okay. Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that the management system that you have utilizes everything that you want it to do. For instance, if you have a management system that you want to have real time, then you got to, in some cases, go out and get a third-party rater. If you want to do document management, you got to go out and get like an ET file. If you want, the scanning part of that. If you want to do proposals, you might want to go out and get a proposal wizard. And if you want to do reports, sometimes you have to go out and get Crystal reports or something like that to make sure it works with your management system. So that would be the first thing, is to find out when you're looking at the system, what all does it do, and then compare it to the others that are out there. And I am going to plug Applied, obviously, but for those of you that are not automated or have a management system that maybe when you initially got it, you're starting to realize that it's not doing everything that you want it to do, contact us. And being that you're in Kansas, I will come out and visit you personally, sit down with you, do a demo at no cost to you, spend a few hours with you and your staff and find out what your current frustrations are, and then go forward. And then we can start talking about pricing and that thing. But the main thing is, when you're researching it, is to take the time. Because a lot of times what happens, you go out, you get something because you've talked to another agency that they're using it, but that agency might not be utilizing it the way you want to. And so you just need to do your due diligence to make sure that the system that you do choose has everything that you want it to do. And then, if it doesn't, and you want to do some of the things I mentioned before, what those costs are going to be associated with.
Thank you. We'd like to open up for questions. We'd really like to tailor this to the information that you guys would like to know, so I'd really appreciate questions. We've got some more to go through if we need to, but does anybody have any questions that we've generated so far? Cindy?
This is for Michelle. Website optimization is always a hard thing to keep up with, and the websites first came out, they were kind of just an information resource to use. Now it's more, they try to be interactive. So what's more important, to try to make the website visible to existing people, or is it to be at the top of the list when somebody's searching insurance in the community, and how do you keep the top of that list?
There are several things that you can do with search engine optimization. We like to implement those tools on our website when we build websites. It is important to sort of be at the top of the list because you want people to be able to find you. So implementing those tools is important. At the same time, there's other things that you can do. Google offers great tools. There's marketing. The marketing tool they offer is called Google AdWords, and you can promote your website just by adding keywords, and then it just has simple text ads that will show up, which will help you help your website be found by others when they're searching. You can target it to certain demographics or even areas that you want to be in. So I mean, there's several different things, and you can track everything that that all the research that goes into that. You can track everything, that information, through another Google tool called Google Analytics.
Thanks, Cindy. Any other questions anybody has come up with?
Will you be covering the cloud? What is the cloud?
I didn't fully mention everything we're doing today. We're going to do the panel here for the first hour. Then we're going to take the break with the ice cream social. And then we're going to come back and do roundtables, smaller sessions. And one of those 7 stations is going to be on cloud technology. What is cloud? It's a myriad of and some of these guys may be able to answer better than I can, a myriad of things that you can access off-site. For example, our agency management system that we use a remote server for that. So I log into a remote server and everything is housed on their server remotely, and we put our email on there and the entire program. So whether I'm at home, whether I'm here, whether I'm at a computer that is not even one of mine, I can access all that information from anywhere. For us, that was important because we have branch locations. So whatever office I'm in, I can sit down and I have my email and I have all access to all of my data wherever I am. It was also important to us if one of our towns got hit with a tornado or a major storm to where we were out of power at that location, we could operate from another location really easily with all of our information. But another program I use is GoToMyPC. I can take control of my PC in my office and see it from anywhere. That's another example of using cloud computing to be able to access your data from anywhere. YouTube videos, we do YouTube videos that we post and then put them on Facebook, and that's another example. It's housed off-site. So lots of different other comments from the panel as far as cloud. Awesome. Very big. You need the mic. Security here. So, go ahead.
The other thing that it offers is we use the same type of system and have our agency management system housed by the vendor, and it also they back up our data every hour, and they keep it back up to that too. So it provides a high level of security for your data. So because I know personally I wasn't backing up my data very often at all. I think that's something I always mean to do, but didn't get it done very regularly.
Other questions? Thank you.
Is there any problems with server accessibility at times, or do you have any problems with that?
Not with. I've never had any problems with it. Basically, what we do, you just log into the internet. So probably your biggest challenge is a good internet connection. You need to have a good high-speed internet connection. But I've never had any problems with logging in. The reliability is pretty high.
Most organizations, whether it's a company or like an Applied or an AMS or Vertifor or whoever, they've got redundancy built in kind of out the wazoo. I know from an Allied perspective, from our agent center standpoint, we've got two different data centers, and they both have a full set of servers in them. So if anything would happen at one data center and something would go down, it's a failover system that if one fail hits, then it just automatically switches over to a different set of servers. So in today's day and age, there's a lot of redundancy built in, so you shouldn't experience any kind of outages. But obviously, it's a question I would ask any vendor and or company to do business with is reliability and accessibility.
Are the servers at different locations?
Ours happen to be. I mean, we've got two sets, and they're separated by many, many miles of turf.
It is with our agency management system too. They have a set at their location, but they also have a redundant backup off-site in another state. So they do it that way. And they back it up every hour. And if we ever wanted access to our data, they send it to us on a CD if we felt like we needed a copy in-house.
Our concern when we did it was if there'd be delay, if you're typing and since you're going to a remote server, I had that sometime with GoToMyPC, it does sometimes have a little delay. And that was a major concern for us. We have not seen that. Our agency management system did just change vendor because when they did have some issues, there's other vendors out there. So they did change the remote server vendor. So I think most companies are real good about that. They want to make sure whoever's housing that for them is doing it right. So, and we've really enjoyed it, and it's been a good move. So, yes.
I see a laptop and I see is that an iPad? Can the iPad do everything the laptop can today?
Well, depends on when you say everything. From a connectivity standpoint, doing it on the internet, pretty much.
Okay.
From an internal processing standpoint, iPad, not yet. It hasn't got to that extent. I use it as a transportation tool when I'm out traveling. I also carry BlackBerry, but it doesn't have the internal processing capacity that a PC does, but it has the ability to connect to the internet. This particular iPad, if I'm in this hotel where there's wireless internet connectivity, it will automatically grab the wireless internet connectivity and present it to me. On the way down here from Des Moines yesterday, obviously there were areas that there was no wireless internet connectivity, so I could literally pull over to the side of the road and it would connect through a 3G, through a cell phone connectivity. Okay. And it just goes out and it checks for any email messages I have and just delivers them and then shuts off.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty sophisticated, but it's not a production element. It's a communication tool. In the early stages, iPads were nothing but kind of game consoles, but it's starting to evolve now to where it's a good business tool, especially if you're traveling or if I was an agent again in today's era. I'd take one home with me. I wouldn't drag a laptop with me. I'd take an iPad home with me. And if a customer called and I'm using a management system that has a remote capability, there's my connectivity right there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Very good question, and that's going to be one of our roundtable discussions. One of our tech committee people, Lucas Raleigh, is here, and he's going to have one of those at a table and go through some of the things that he's doing with it with his business. So, thank you. Other questions? Yes?
Of course, I come back from back in the days of the dark ages when we used to grade out books and so forth. Coming to today, in the last 30 years, and particularly the last 10 or 20 years, and the money we've spent on technology, we get to the point where we are today. It seems like we're more reactive to, right now we have probably 10 or 12 users in 4 different locations. Could you give me, I'm going to address this to the company or the vendor, some insight into what we can see as how our agents, our producers are going to be functioning in the next 5 years to help us think a little clearer on what we should be doing or how our producers are going to be functioning in the future.
Thanks so much, Jim.